So how was the workshop?
Well, I think the workshop was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit different having someone like from a university come in and do a workshop rather than having, like someone who's not in university but still in that line of work, because like they work with a lot of like young adults like every single day.
I feel like it was nice because for someone who we've never seen or worked with before, it opened up our eyes to different teaching techniques. So for example, a way Veronica would do something could be completely different to how Mark would do something, but also it's not saying that both are wrong or one's right, one's not.
Yeah.
They're just different views and techniques of how someone would do things.
Yeah.
I personally really liked how fun it was because we do, but we don't get to focus on how to audition. We only touched up on it once, maybe twice, and because we might need to audition for our unis, this is a good chance to ask questions, get to know things and everything else.
I mean, I think if you'd like to go first, could you let's say something?
I found it fun also because I felt like I could be free with what I was doing. There was no limitations on what I was reading or rehearsing, I guess. It also felt good to sort of do what I wanted to do instead of having a preset thing that our teacher would want us to do. We had our own way to do it. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah. I think what I like the most is for this stage, I liked how I could do whatever I want with it, because last year a lot of the stage would be already like set for us when we have like these sort of pieces, and I liked how I could interpret it however I wanted.
I feel like because it's such a different extract or monologue that we have studied before, like previously, it was very much so fantasy or creating our own script with different dialects. I feel like because this is such a modern text and quite relatable to what people go through these days, it just gives you an insight of what some people can be going through, and to portray that I think is a very special thing, because some people with mental health, because what the monologue is based on, can experience different things to someone who has also got mental health. So there's different ways of
the same.
Exactly, everyone's different, and I like that aspect of it, because you were in control of it. No one was telling you do this, do that, or no, make it a little bit like that. It was all up to you and using your imagination.
I really liked how open the feedback was, and then how we got to take in that feedback and then put it into our own interpretation.
Like, did you notice how it was never anything negative? It was more so, you could do this, or you could also do this.
Other
it was
ways
never,
to interpret
that's
it.
wrong, you shouldn't be doing it like that.
I mean, in acting, it's never wrong. There's always different ways you can interpret it. I mean, I just wish we had a little bit longer on it, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like everyone could have had maybe like not one-to-one, but if we were to ever do a workshop again, instead of the bigger picture, focus on one thing that will stand out to the audience to make them think, oh wow, this is deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say.
And how do you feel prepared or not to audition in the future with this workshop?
I think it definitely helped, because I think we only had maybe 2 days to see these monologues, and especially this one, which I think what you'd mostly get in an audition with university, an acting job, if they do give you a monologue to have a look at, you'd maybe have as you did before, it was a couple of hours, or maybe a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and that's it. You have to like interpret it really quickly, block it really quickly, make sure you memorize it really quickly, and I feel like that also like challenged us a little bit, because as I said, we only had 2 days to have a look at that.
I think it prepared us more in the sense that we had an overall understanding of what could happen in an interview or an audition, because all auditions are different. They're looking for different things, different people, different things that you might do differently. So just asking the questions to him gave us an understanding of what could come up, which kind of prepared us. Like, you could go there with questions, go there smiling, because like we were saying, within the first 5 minutes, they already get a sense of what you're like.
Yeah.
But different audition processes can take 30 minutes, to you can have 3 different auditions in
Yeah.
separate weeks. So
Or it could be all in one
depends.
and you don't know.
Yeah. I personally feel like it's prepared us. I don't know if it's. I'm not going to speak for us, but it definitely prepared me because it's given me a sense of not foreshadowing, overlooking for what could happen in in an audition.
Like he broke down how
Yeah.
St. Mary's
Yeah.
audition process would go.
And how it generally is as well. And I really liked how he generalized it as well as brought the uni's personal
Because
way of thinking.
I think a lot of auditions, they're different, but they have the same structure to it, the same things that they're going to do. Because in acting audition, there's not much difference really you can get except for what you're auditioning for. Really, it's pretty much the same every time, except the scripts can be different character, different.
Same process.
Yeah, but it's the same process all around. So I think that really helped.
Do you know what I like about it though? As someone who doesn't see myself pursuing a job as an actor, in a sense, having today to obviously do a demonstration audition, I feel like if I do ever want to obviously become an actor and see if I can get myself in different roles by auditioning, I feel like knowing how easy it could be just to be myself and be the character, it might also benefit me to think that it's still a possibility for me, because I thought auditions to be like really scary because I don't know what I'm going to do. I do well under pressure, but I also really don't, depending on what they would give me and like the extract and what I was going to read. I would need a bit of while to read it, so I don't think I'm really set for that, but I think I could be ready for an audition if it did come up.
I think people are so scared about having their nerves and feeling nervous. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, what happens if this happens? This happens. If it happens, just go with it. Don't ever doubt yourself, because then if you start doubting yourself, then that's when the audition starts to go downhill.
And they see
And
that.
they see that
Yeah.
you're not a confident person, that you're not right for the role. So I do think nerves can benefit you in a way. Like whenever I go for an audition, say it's a singing audition or I'm trying to get a role, the nerves do something to you to make you push to want it more, to wow them even more, to make them pick me, choose me, want me, kind of thing.
I mean, with what you said about auditions and you're scared of messing up, I think they expect it to mess up, especially when with a lot of auditions you get the script on the spot. They're not expecting it to be perfect.
But they're seeing how well you deal with
Exactly, yeah. They want to see that you know you can read it over quickly, you can understand the basis of it and get something, not just have nothing, you know? Yeah, I think that's like the most important thing.
I also personally really liked how different each of our perspective of
None of them were the
monologue.
same.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
How each of us were different with our perspectives and stuff, because that made me think, that's really good. I can see how that would fit. And it opens a lot of ideas for others as well.
Like I feel like with you and I, our scenes were very similar.
Yeah.
However, how we viewed the scene was different. Like yours was more colourful. Yours was, you had things everywhere, a bit of clutter, just to envision, to make it a safe space. Whereas me, I had it stripped back. I had white walls, glass tables, no door, the sense of feeling of trapped. So I feel like because the scenes were the same, but we portrayed them differently. And with you, you had 2 different scenes in the same act. You had the therapist area, and then you also had the train station, which was nice. And then with Ethan, you had it just one thing in your own head, calm, very natural, which is good because it shows that not everything has to be over dramatized to show such a strong theme, which was good. I think we're similar, but we're very different.
Yeah.
Amazing. And if, just to finish off, if each one of you could say one thing that you're taking, in a word, it could be, or in a phrase, that you're taking out of this that you can develop further, what would it be?
I want to like trust myself and my ideas, because I wasn't sure if my idea was going to work out with the split stage, but I tried it and it really worked. I just think you have to trust yourself with the ideas you have, because if you have an idea, you don't trust yourself and you don't go fully into it, it's not going to work. You have to fully commit to it for it to work.
I say have passion, because when you have passion, then that's where they can see that you're gonna put in the effort. You're gonna if say you're doing a film, God knows where, you'll put in that effort to go to that place because you are dedicated and you want this. So I think have passion is a good one.
I would say courage and confidence as well, because if you don't have the courage, how are you going to take the next step?
Yeah.
And if you're not confident, how are you not going to get to that step? It's very like two-way. Like you're hoping that you'll impress them, and they're hoping that you'll do good for them to employ you, or when you get into uni. It all just depends on what you want to do. It also depends on like what your style of acting is, how you do it. Like every person's different. Every person prefers different ways of acting on the stage or on TV. No person is the same. So
Yeah, there may be similarities, but it's never going to be 100% the same as someone else.
I think the word I would use is immersion, or be immersed. Like, become the character.
Okay.
You're immersed, you are the character. With acting, obviously, sometimes if it's a character I can sort of relate to in any sort of way, I try and pull that from myself and the character and try and merge it together, just so it's not easier for me to do it, but it becomes so well seen by everyone.
It
that,
becomes more natural to you.
and they believe what they see instead of you just waffling out something that you have no idea about.
I think that's what's so amazing about being an actor though, because you could be going through so much issues in your life. However, you're given a character, you forget about your life, you become that character, you put yourself in their shoes, and you're not, say, I'm not Demi, you're playing Rue, for example.
Can I go back to what you said? You said, I think it's a lot easier for us nowadays with modern text to put ourselves in that position, because a lot of the time it's around the time we were born, like around the time of now, maybe a couple years before we were born. It's a lot easier to put ourselves in their shoes.
Showing
And
awareness.
showing like we know. And sorry, what did you say a minute ago again? I had something I wanted to say.
About putting yourself in their shoes, forgetting that you're yourself.
I think with that as well, actors like playing a different character. So it's like, in a way, you are yourself, but not at the same time. Like you feel joy and like that sort of like emotion from being on stage, being on
the adrenaline.
That's what I like, because I know with the performances we've had, I've been really nervous before, but as soon as I get on that stage, I feel at home.
Yeah.
And like when we're recording it as well, like for our blogs,
It's like
I feel at home, like with the camera there and everything. It's like home.
It plays
like,
to your creative aspects, doesn't it? Yeah.
And I also feel like, I always say this when we have these discussions, like the stage is actors' canvas. We
paint the picture.
we paint
We
it,
carve
we
it.
carve it, we create this painting of the show for the audience or for the people who are watching the show. Like there are tons of actors nowadays that I look up to that probably paint the picture for young actors or people who just love watching the shows. And seeing people my age on the screen is inspiring as well. In that sense, it keeps me motivated to do that for younger people as well.